While SpongeBob has failed over 1,000,000 tests off screen, here are his worst actual driving test fails we saw in episodes that nearly destroyed Bikini Bottom. Every time he drives, something explodes, someone screams, and Mrs. Puff inflates like a balloon. You think Bikini Bottom would ban him by now, but nope, they're apparently fine with weekly explosions. Number 9. Boating School, 1999. This is where SpongeBob's driving disaster began. He woke up super excited because today was the day he'd finally pass his driving test. He was so confident that he even threw away his unicycle, thinking he'd never need it again. At boating school, he crushed the written test without any problems. After all, he had taken it 37 times before and knew every answer by heart. But once he touched the steering wheel for his actual test drive, everything went downhill fast. He panicked, floored the gas pedal, and drove straight into a lighthouse. Poor Mrs. Puff puffed up like a giant balloon and flew away, probably questioning all her life choices. Patrick decided to help SpongeBob by giving him a secret walkie-talkie hidden inside a cowboy hat. At first, it worked, and SpongeBob drove calmly with Patrick's instructions. But when he realized he was cheating, he completely lost it. He cried, panicked, and drove like a maniac until it crashed again. We've kick-started SpongeBob's driving disaster with his very first crash. This is fail count 1. Number 8. No Free Rides, 2001 Final Aligned Version. Mrs. Puff is so tired of SpongeBob's endless crashes that she finally snapped. During his driving test, she passed him just to get rid of him forever. At first, everything seemed fine and peaceful. Then SpongeBob's parents surprised him with a brand new Batmobile to celebrate his license. He was so overwhelmed that he fainted right into a cake. But later that night, he couldn't resist taking his new boat out for a secret drive. That's when Mrs. Puff realized the entire town was now in serious danger. She decided that the only way to keep everyone safe was to steal his boat herself. SpongeBob saw his boat getting stolen and ended up chasing the masked thief down the street. And when he finally caught the thief, it turned out to be Mrs. Puff wearing a disguise. The whole chase ended in a huge crash with a police car. Mrs. Puff got arrested and SpongeBob lost his license again. He got his license just to lose it the same night in a huge crash chase. Things are heating up with fail count 2. Number 7. Doing Time, 2002. This driving test turned into a full-blown nightmare. Bikini Bottom's favorite fry cook started off okay behind the wheel, but soon he lost control and drove straight off an unfinished bridge into a truck full of fruit punch, splashing red everywhere like a horror movie. Mrs. Puff got arrested because of the crash. Strangely, she felt relieved because prison meant no more terrifying tests with the sponge. But Bikini Bottom's yellow menace wasn't going to leave her alone so easily. Before we see what he did next, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us bring you more cartoon chaos every week. He and Patrick came up with the worst rescue plans ever. They tried robbing a bank, hiding in giant chili pots, and even popping out of her toilet at night. The guards thought Mrs. Puff had lost her mind because she kept screaming at things no one else could see. Things got so bad that she ended up locked up in a padded cell. Then suddenly everything cut back to the crash scene. No one knows if any of it was real or just inside her head. A terrifying test that ended with fruit punch crashes and prison hallucinations. We're just getting started. This is fail count 3. Number 6. Boating License, 2004. This was the day SquarePants thought his dream had finally come true. After failing so many times, he actually passed his driving test. The sponge couldn't stop smiling and felt like the happiest creature in Bikini Bottom. But his happiness didn't last long. Mrs. Puff got arrested for violating her house arrest, and an officer showed up to ruin everything. Without saying a word, he ripped up Mr. SquarePants' brand new license right in front of him. In another test, Bikini Bottom's yellow menace got his license just for wearing long pants. He was so proud, thinking his driving skills had finally improved. But as soon as he switched back to his usual shorts, they took the license away again. He finally got his license, only to have it ripped away for ridiculous reasons. The chaos continues strong with fail count 4. Number 5. Mrs. Puff, You're Fired, 2006. The superintendent finally discovered how badly Mr. SquarePants was failing. He found out that the sponge had failed his driving test 1,258,056 times. That's over 1 million failures in one boating school. A record nobody wants to break. He immediately fired Mrs. Puff for being a terrible teacher. Then he brought in Sergeant Roderick, a hardcore drill instructor with no patience. Roderick treated boating school like a strict military boot camp. He trained Bikini Bottom's yellow menace to drive perfectly, but only while blindfolded. During the real test, our favorite fry cook couldn't wear the blindfold because it was illegal. He instantly panicked and destroyed half the city with his out-of-control driving. In the end, Mrs. Puff got her job back after Roderick gave up. Even the toughest teacher in Bikini Bottom couldn't fix this porous disaster. Over 1 million fails, a military boating camp, and a city destruction later. Welcome to fail count 5. Number 4, Boat Smarts, 2007. This was a special boating safety video starring SpongeBob and Squidward. It was made to teach everyone in Bikini Bottom and how to drive safely. But really, it showed exactly why the sponge should never be near a steering wheel. Squidward acted like the perfect driver in the video. He checked his tires, adjusted his mirrors, and followed every single rule without fail. Meanwhile, Bikini Bottom's yellow menace turned simple tasks into pure disasters. He overfilled the tires until the boat flipped upside down. Then he tried steering with one leg while fiddling with the mirrors and ended up crashing into everything around him. SquarePants even read a magazine and ate a Krabby Patty while driving down the street. At the end, he caused a huge pileup and slid past it all, yelling, "Wee!" Yeah, wee! Like it was like a theme park ride. The tape cut off with him grinning and saying, "Looks like you forgot your boat smarts before crashing again." You'd think Bikini Bottom would ban him by now. This is fail count 6. Number 3, Boating Buddies, 2008. This time Squidward got pulled over for bad driving and had to attend boating school. Sadly, he ended up sitting right next to Bikini Bottom's yellow menace. During the test, they were placed in the same boat together. The sponge immediately crashed them into a high-tech lab. The accident shrank them to microscopic size and flushed them into a drain. Mrs. Puff landed in a fountain, Squidward ended up in a bathroom sink, and SquarePants just smiled like nothing happened. Back in class, Mrs. Puff gave them a written test. Squidward refused to help, but couldn't hold his pencil because he was wrapped in bandages. He finally begged for help, only to get exposed by a student's recorder. Nobody passed, and Squidward had to return next week. Shrinking, labs, and Squidward's weekly torture? Mrs. Puffs probably needs therapy after this. Here is fail count 7. Number 2, Demolition Doofus, 2012. This driving test went from bad to worse in seconds. Bikini Bottom's yellow menace crashed so hard, he popped Mrs. Puff's inflation sack, leaving her stuck in a wheelchair forever. Instead of giving up, she entered SquarePants into a demolition derby, hoping someone else would destroy him. But the sponge had no clue and drove around like it was a normal boating test. He spun in circles, smashed into everything, and somehow knocked out all the other drivers without trying. Mrs. Puff completely lost it and grabbed a monster truck to smash him herself. But our favorite fry cook kept dodging her like it was just another fun game. A demolition derby turned into a SpongeBob destroying everyone without even trying. Things are getting dangerous with fail count 8. Number 1, Tutor Sauce, 2015. After failing his driving test again, Bikini Bottom's yellow menace sat crying in the Krusty Krab kitchen. Mr. Krab saw him sobbing and decided to teach him how to drive himself. He thought it would be faster, cheaper, and way easier than dealing with Mrs. Puff. First, they practiced driving around outside the Krusty Krab, but the sponge reversed straight into the wall within seconds. Then they tried a parking lot, SpongeBob's house, and even a driving video game. No matter what they tried, every lesson ended with a crash. Our favorite fry cook just couldn't figure out how to drive without causing chaos. Finally, he drove the wrong way down a busy street and caused a massive pileup. Cars smashed into each other while people screamed in fear. The police officer who showed up didn't even give them a ticket. He just sent them both, Mr. Krabs and SquarePants, straight back to boating school again. Mr. Krabs tried teaching him, but every lesson ended in chaos. Fail count 9. SpongeBob has officially failed his boating test 1,258,056 times. Yup, that's over 1 million failures. At this point, it's a miracle Bikini Bottom even exists. You'd think they'd ban him from driving forever. But nope, they kept letting him try again and again and again.